What's up, everybody? This is a rather new acquisition. It's a Mora Classic 611. It's also called the Craftsman, and it exists in various sizes, and I will give you the specs in just a second. I modified it just a little bit. It has a guard that comes from factory. Actually, I didn't put that on, but I tried to carve a little notch in there because the handle was just round, very round, and I actually saw Travis Haley do it with his Mora, but it didn't work out too well. I didn't have proper tools. Tried to paint it red a little bit with a marker. The music is really loud. And yeah, it's not super pretty, but this is definitely a work knife. It is carbon steel, the Mora carbon steel. It's very nicely hardened. It was super sharp, and I actually did a lot of work with this knife. Now it comes with this sheath. Clicks securely in place, doesn't come out, no rattle, no nothing. Has a little tight belt loop. Now that's okay, I don't carry it around the belt, I just put it in my pocket like that. And to give you the specs, Mr. Ruler to the rescue. The blade length is just shy of 4 inches, and the overall length is 7 7/8. And in centimeters, it is an overall length of 20 centimeters and a blade length of just under 10, maybe 9.8 centimeters. The blade stock is not overly thick, but it is plenty sufficient for the kind of use it's supposed to be performing. You know, what it's intended for. This is not factory edge. I did not strop this. I didn't do anything to it, and let me just say, I hacked down a small tree, not by the root, but like this thick branches of that thickness. I hacked through without a baton. I just used force. I had to use my gloves though, mechanics gloves, fast fit, and they worked nicely. I just would get blisters using it like that. It is a beechwood handle, and it's for my extra large sized gloves, and yeah, for my hands. Just a little bit too short. That guard just pokes me a little bit. I can't get a super comfortable grip on it, but it's fine. I just hacked on it and did push cuts and whatever, and I actually broke out the pieces I cut, and the edge is still flawless. I mean, this can really take some abuse, this incredibly affordable Mora knife. I paid for this, I think, around 15-16 euros shipped within Germany. Actually, I didn't buy it from Sweden or whatever. So it's a very nice knife, but it would not be my first choice. I actually did some whittling. This lousy excuse of a pipe temper I did. It's not too bad, but yeah, the wood is just shitty, the wood I picked for this. So, made for rough use, general bushcraft, maybe, you know, bushcraft is just gay for getting out and do shit in the woods. It's kind of a weird niche. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's just my opinion. So this would not be my first choice. Why? Mainly because of the size and because of the handle. It is pretty. I give it to that knife. It is pretty. It looks nice. It looks classic. The guard was something I definitely needed because I constantly cut myself, and I didn't want to take the chance and slip forward on this grip. You know, that would be very easy, especially with a little slippery handle, which this can absolutely be. If it's a little damp outside. So this would not be my first choice. My first choice would actually be this one. And this one had a forced patina on it. Actually, it still has it. And this is the Clipper 840. It's larger, and by how much? Overall length is about 22 centimeters. 21 3/4 about, something like that. Blade length 10 centimeters in inches, 4-inch blade exactly, and 8.5 inches in overall length. This melts to my hand. This is one of the most secure knives, fixed blades in that size category you can possibly use. The rubberized handle, it's hard and you can't, you know, just scratch it off or anything. It's very, very dense. It feels just so nicely. It's very well contoured, has a nice swell to it, not overly thick though, and it just fits my hand perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Now while the blade isn't that pretty, because this one I haven't tampered with it, and I should have left it in, well, in original condition, but I have heard so many people have had troubles with rusting. I have never had any trouble with rusting except for an Opinel knife that I left after washing it in the sink and it has rust spots. But I am in a humid environment. I have never had any problems with rust. So I could have just left it. This will probably never rust because I care for my knives and I leave them dry and just with a little bit of oil when I don't use them. But this one would be my first choice simply because of the size. The blade stock is about the same thickness. Yeah, basically exactly the same thickness. Has a slightly larger blade and I just like the ergos better. No, it may not be as pretty. It looks more like a fishing knife, you know, a general working knife, you know, for something for someone who works maybe in construction or something, cuts a lot of cable, or I don't know what people, you know, cut on construction sites, all kinds of shit I assume. But this would really be it. This is more of, let's just say, a dressy version, but highly unpractical. I can't stress that enough. I find this design, smooth wood, completely rounded, highly unpractical. This one, not so much. Very grippy, very ergonomic, just the right size. As I told you, this comes in various sizes. This one does not. I think it only comes in with green accents instead of red, and then it's a stainless steel blade. I'm not really sure about that. Both are the same steel in this version, about the same price, so you cannot go wrong with either one. I just prefer the Clipper to this classic 611. And yeah, I thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. And don't tread on me.